Συνεχίζουμε με την Dr. Daniela Vasile. Η Dr. Daniela Vasile είναι ακαδημαϊκή διευθύντρια, Director of Learning, κεντρικής και Βόρειας Ευρώπη και Νότιας Ευρώπης στον όμιλο Duke's Education. Έχει ηγετική θέση στην εκπαίδευση με πάνω από 25 χρόνια εμπειρίας, καθοδηγούμενη από ακεραιότητα, στρατηγική σκέψη και την πεποίθηση ότι οι άνθρωποι ευδοκιμούν σε ευέλικτα αναστοχαστικά σχολικά συστήματα, βοηθά τα σχολεία να βελτιώσουν τα μαθησιακά αποτελέσματα και να ενισχύσουν τις δυνατότητές τους μέσω της συνεργασίας. Ηγήθηκε ομάδας του Οργανισμού Οικονομικής Συνεργασίας και Ανάπτυξης για τα σχολεία και συμμετείχε στο σχεδιασμό και την επέκταση του Εθνικού Προγράμματος Επαγγελματικής Ανάπτυξης Μαθηματικών στη Ρουμανία. Daniela, I am very glad to have you here with us. I recently got to know Daniela through the integration of Mandolide schools into the Duke's Education Group. It is wonderful to collaborate with people as Daniela, who have both knowledge and experience. I would like to warmly thank you for accepting immediately my invitation. I am sure you have many interesting things to share with us. You are going to speak about from running a school to designing a learning compass. Thank you, Daniela.
Thank you very much, Aspa, and good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you to discuss such an important topic in education today. And the theme of the conference, Transformative Leadership for Future-Ready Schools. It's one that everyone is interested in. I would make a point that to get a future-ready school, we do need transformative leadership. And I chose to talk about the role of a school leader in this context that is happening now worldwide. Anyone becoming a school leader was asked at one point, so how is it running a school? And to be honest, and I think many people who are here, school leaders, feel the same. Most days are like running, sometimes even sprinting. Running between classrooms and bus duty, between safeguarding issues and spreadsheet, between parents' inspections and budget meetings. But our students don't experience school as a timetable or a spreadsheet. They experience it as a journey, right? A journey of identity, of relationship, of learning of who they become in a world that is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Even we have this new term, VUCA world. Additionally, as if it was not complex enough, the world is digital, bringing even more complexity. So today I suggest a small but important shift in language. From running a school to designing a learning ecosystem. Because our job as leaders is not only to keep the school working, our job is to help our communities navigate learning with purpose, especially when the landscape keeps changing. Educational thinkers like Michael Fullan talk about the moral imperative of school leadership. Leaders don't simply administer the system, they change the context in which teachers and students learn. And for me, that's a most important and first element of a learning ecosystem and of a learning compass. Leadership. That is, for me, is an ongoing choice to put learning at the center of everything. Andy Hargraves has pointed out that leadership is often the afterthought of educational change. We design new curricula, new assessment, new digital platforms, and only later we ask ourselves, what is the impact of this change on students' lives? A learning center leader does, therefore, from my point of view, three things very deliberately, intentionally. First, we provide direction for learning. We don't just have a mission statement on the website, right? Everyone has a mission statement, but they don't use it. We continuously ask in every meeting, what is the learning impact of this decision? How does this timetable, this policy, this digital platform improve learning for students? And if the answer is unclear, that's a warning sign that our compass has started to spin and we need to reconsider our initiatives. Second, we create the conditions for teachers to thrive. We know from decades of research that the most powerful lever for better student outcomes is what happens in classrooms in the hands of teachers. Our job as leaders is not to micromanage every lesson, but to create frameworks, time, trust, and feedback that let high quality teaching thrive. Collaborative planning time, clear expectations, and what good teaching looks like, alongside supportive, not punitive use of data. Third, we model being learning learners ourselves. If we want a culture where students are curious, reflective, willing to try and fail, then leaders have to show that too. In between those two layers, teachers will become the same. In the moment we think, I know everything, I'm just running the place, the school, the stops working. And generally, we as leaders, we don't think that we know everything, but generally we think I don't have time to learn something new. And that's why we need to make time for it. So my first message is this. The role of a leader is not to be the fastest runner, but to be the keeper of the learning compass. Once we manage this, we move from firefighting to purpose. The challenge, of course, is that we are leading schools in an intensely digital age. Devices, platforms, AI, they all promise transformation, but they can also create noise, distraction, and superficial engagement. I was part of a group leading the production of the OECD report, Unlocking High Quality Teaching, and I led the group that looked at cognitive engagement. So the report, which is an excellent one, I recommend it, Unlocking High Quality Teaching from OECD, identify 5 goals of high quality teaching, which are ensuring cognitive engagement, crafting rich subject content, providing social emotional support, fostering classroom interaction, and using formative assessment and feedback to guide learning. Notice, please, what's not on that list. They don't say using the newest app or having one device per child. Technology appears only as a means, a tool to deepen these 5 goals, not a goal in itself. So what does it mean for us leaders? I think it calls us to 2 shifts. The first one, to move from content coverage to conceptual understanding. In a digital world, students can look up almost any fact in seconds. And it's not that facts are not important. They are important because we build on them, but they are not enough. And very often in schools, because we don't have time, we stop there. Students, therefore, can quickly Google facts, but what they can't Google is deep understanding. And what is deep understanding? Is the ability to see patterns, to transfer a concept from one context to another, to reason, to make ethical choices. OECD talks about a mix of knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values that young people need to thrive, and about transformative competencies, which they define, not all competencies, but the transformative ones, being creating new value, reconciling tensions, and taking responsibility. So they define these 3 transformative competencies. Across the Duke's education group, we are looking as well at various ways to move to conceptual understanding. And all this is it itself a conceptual work. It requires time, rich tasks, and teachers who can go beyond remember and repeat to explain, connect, apply, critique. Now, please let me make this more concrete with my recent visit at Mandolida schools, which was the week before the one that is just finished. So I was in early years and primary schools at Mandolides, where they proudly showed me the robotics class for 4 years old, and then a Lego architects lesson in lower primary, and they had it across, but I just saw these two points. On paper, these lessons could have been about gadgets and resources. But what was in the classrooms, and I observed, was something completely different. The classrooms were calm and uncluttered. The teacher wasn't talking about press this button or make it move. The teacher was asking, what do you think it will happen if? Why did the robot behave that way? How could we change our instructions to obtain another outcome? In the Lego class, children weren't just playing with Lego or doing Lego. They were introduced to me as architects and builders. They are being given an intellectual identity, not just a toy. That is what a learning compass looks like in practice in a digital age. The technology is there, but the focus is on concepts, on cause and effect, on systems, on reasoning, and on who the children are becoming as thinkers. A leader at Manduli has made choices about the learning environment, about language, about professional development, so that robotics and Lego are not only a toy, or not a toy at all, but vehicles for deep thinking. And this moves us to the second shift. So the first one was from content coverage to conceptual understanding. The second shift would be from digital excitement to discipline pedagogy. So the same report, OECD report, is refreshing because it doesn't chase shiny trends. It says that significant improvement comes from systematically enhancing existing evidence-based practice. We started in this report from best practices around the world. As leaders, our focus in the digital era is to ask every time we are sold a new digital solution, how this technology helps us increase cognitive engagement. How does it improve feedback? How does it support student agency, not just passive consumption? In other words, the future of learning is digital, but high quality learning is still conceptual and relational. Our compass must point to deep ideas and human connections, not only to new devices. We move from content coverage to conceptual understanding and from digital excitement to discipline pedagogy. Let me bring here the OECD Learning Compass 2030, their vision for what learning will be in 2030, because a metaphor points out of how to achieve it. Three ideas from the compass are particularly powerful for leaders. First, not just grades, but thriving academically, emotionally, and socially. The compass points not just to test scores, but to well-being of students, of communities, and of society. That means our learning compass should ask, are our students thriving, not only performing? Are they developing the character and agency to navigate uncertainty? Second idea from the learning compass, agency and co-agency. The learning compass highlights the need for student agency. Students have the capacity and will to shape their own learning and their own world. And co-agency, the mutually supportive relationships with teachers, parents, and communities that help them all progress and enable them knowing how to do this. So the learning compass is not held only by the head teacher or by the principal. It's co-created with teachers and families. So we don't simply deliver learning to you. That's what the teaching compass tells us. We navigate the learning together. To navigate, we need tools. Think a simple tool in a school, a simple tool as a cycle, like anticipate, act, reflect. It seems simple and very, very narrow, but when you use it as a whole school, it becomes a language that everyone is using, and it becomes a powerful design principle for the school. What would it mean for a teacher? We anticipate. I scan the context. I ask what learners need, and I plan. We act. I try new practices, new structures in my lessons, new ways of using digital tools. We reflect. I look honestly at evidence, listen to students, and adjust. A leader who designs a learning compass is someone who makes this cycle the normal way of working for everyone, not just for an innovation committee producing a document that sits on a shelf. So if you bring all these threads together, what the leader becomes in the new VUCA world. He's not anymore the hero head who runs faster than everyone else. He needs to be the designer of a learning compass who clarifies the direction, designs conditions, builds co-agency, and keeps returning to learning in every agenda item. Alongside safeguarding digital strategy, finances behavior policy, we all ask the same question every time. What kind of learning and human beings does this decision move us towards? I see this very clearly in my work across the schools in Dukes. And I'm going to give you another example. Not long time ago, I brought together program leaders from several secondary schools to look at how they know whether learning is really improving. We could have spent the meeting on timetables, looking at spreadsheet, exam entries, inspection reports, all the classic running a school topic. But instead, we put on the table three simple questions. What evidence do you already look at regularly that truly tells you about learning? Second, what is missing? And third, what one change in your leadership meeting would keep learning at the center? If you ask these questions, the conversation shifts. Heads will start talking about the quality of classroom dialogue, about how students explain their thinking, about how to use assessment data to prompt professional learning rather than just to rank classes. By the end, each school leader can choose one compass point. For example, ensuring that in each leadership meeting there is a 5-minute look at a piece of student work, a brief learning walk focused only on one aspect of pedagogy. What changes in moments like this is not a document, a policy document. It is the way leaders see their roles. So we move from how do I run my school efficiently to how I design routines and ask questions that keep everyone, including me, orientated towards learning. This is leadership as designing a learning compass and building co-agency with colleagues, not carrying the burden alone. And before I finish, I'm going to do a short recap of the point I made. So the role of a leader as a designer of learning compass is the future of a leader, how I see it. From this big idea, how do we achieve this? Is moving from content coverage to conceptual understanding, from digital excitement to discipline pedagogy. We are doing this by considering not just the grades, but the whole child, by creating opportunities for developing agency and core agency, and changing from delivering a lesson to navigate. I'm not sure how it's in Greek, but in Romanian, I'm Romanian, there is not such a word as a direct translation from teaching. We use the same verb deliver for teaching and for delivering a package. Only this in itself brings in teachers' minds a kind of teaching, which is not according to what students need today. So the language is very, very important. In all this context, it's important that leaders move from a hero lead to a designer lead. And I will finalize by leaving you with three questions to reflect on. If we sketched our school's learning compass today, what it would be pointing towards? What is your discussions about on the school corridors, in meeting, in classes? Second, where is our focus in the digital era? Is it on tools or is it on concepts and relationships, and tools are just a vehicle for this? What might we stop doing so that we can deepen the goals of high quality teaching? And the third question, how might we grow co-agency and agency, things that keep students engaged in all aspects of their developments, but we are missing so much in our schools today? So that would mean for me, moving from running a school to designing a learning compass. It's not an extra task on the top of what we already do. It is the work that we need to do to keep the focus on learning, to be guided by clear purpose, and to help our community navigate together towards a better future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daniela, for your interesting presentation. It is important in the future ready schools to understand each person's role in the learning process in order to support the students, to help the students to have the skills and the knowledge for this demanded work. We want uh, a leader who lead with heart, Daniela.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aspa. Good luck in your conference. It's a wonderful theme, and it's important to talk about these things. Thank you very
I
much.
hope I have you again in smart education.
Yes, with my pleasure. It will be my pleasure.
Thank you, Daniela.